Coming up on Mountain News this morning, yet another Eastern Kentucky business gets back on its feet after it was heavily damaged by flooding. And a family looks to the future as their son is finally able to put cancer and its hardships in his rearview mirror.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
6:01 on your Monday. It is February the 6th. Good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. And Brandon, the next time you do the holiday countdown, if my birthday is not included in that holiday countdown,
it won't be.
I'll just walk out.
Go ahead, because I'm not putting it on there.
Why? It'd be fun.
It's not a national holiday.
To you?
Well, to you is the only one it's a national holiday too.
You know what? I'm going to take a poll with our viewers, and I'll see who wins that one.
We'll see exactly. I tell you what, you put a poll up on Twitter.
I will.
And if the viewers overwhelmingly support your birthday being on the holiday countdown, I will add it tomorrow.
You know, I can name several viewers right now that would agree with me, but I won't name them because they might disagree, so I don't know.
Several, exactly. All right, it's going to have to be overwhelming for me to add that to
whatever
to the holidays. All right, let's talk about the forecast for this morning. Depending on where you are, you'll probably need a light or a heavy jacket. Temperatures kind of fluctuating. Let's go up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. I was up there on Friday. It was still a winter wonderland, but the heat this weekend melted the snow away, but it was mostly still at the top there. That's pretty close to where this camera is this morning. I went past it a couple of times. If you were looking at that camera Friday, you probably saw me drive by back and forth a couple of times there. We're looking at temperatures from the 20s in Jonesville and London to the 40s in Prestonsburg, Logan, Harlan, and Jacksboro. Also Clintwood as well. So again, some warm air out there across the region. 47 at Myrtle Beach, 48 in Washington, D.C., 43 in Springfield, Missouri, 27 in Indianapolis, 35 in the Big Apple, and 44 in Atlanta. 52 here at home this afternoon. Now, if we see a little bit more sunshine in spots, could get a touch warmer, mid-50s potentially. But if we see a few more clouds, then I think we stay in the low 50s there for daytime highs. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. One small family-owned business in Floyd County has officially reopened following the July floods more than 6 months ago. Our Jordan Mullins has more from the Hankamp family and how their recovery has led to their business reopening.
Hankamp Manor Bikes and Books is exactly what it sounds like. A bike repair shop and a bookstore run by the Hankamp family in Garrett and Floyd County. 6 months ago, Garrett was one of many areas impacted by severe flooding, and the Hankamp's home and business were not spared.
Seeing the water come up and hearing the building groaning, it was kind of like our future goals was just being almost figuratively flushed down the toilet.
The business they had built from the ground up had nearly washed away.
We knew the water was in our home and we could hear it going in the business. We knew that was our source of income and it was just being washed away.
But the Hankamps set out to rebuild and return to their home around Thanksgiving of 2022 and continued working to reopen the business.
I love the small community. I love our community. There's not much here. We're trying to bring some life back into the community and keep what little life is here. We're trying to keep it here.
On Monday, Hankamp Manor Bikes and Books officially reopened its doors.
It's going to take a lot more than water, a lot more than mud. Yeah, it was devastating, but it's going to take a lot more than water to get us out of here. To me, there was never a question, should we tear it down? Should we move it? It was never a question. We'll rebuild what we've got.
A bright spot returning to the community it loves so dearly. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, the family also wanted to thank each and every person who assisted them in their recovery process, as well as the first responders who saved their lives during the flood. A young girl in Breathitt County and her family are going through a situation no one should have to go through. The mother of a three-year-old Anista Peck had to have an emergency C-section when giving birth to her. So Anista went without oxygen for too long, causing many different health issues. But her kidneys took the biggest hit. She's been dealing with kidney failure her whole life. She's already been through dialysis once, but her body rejected that treatment and forced her to be hospitalized. Now she's in need of a kidney transplant.
Any donor, because they will cross-match and like swap donors. So As long as they have 2 to cover 2, they'll do that.
Anna's blood type A minus, but is type A minus, but any blood type can work for a kidney transplant. You can visit WYMT.com to find a link where you can register to donate. When a Powell County family got the news no parent ever wants to hear, they knew their son was in for the fight of his life. Now, about 2.5 years later, they're celebrating big milestones and even bigger accomplishments ahead. Julia Sandor caught up with the 12-year-old who is ready to put cancer in his rearview mirror.
His four-wheeler gear on.
Like most 12-year-olds, Wyatt McClure likes to be out and about.
I like to go ride my bike and my four-wheeler. I like to play sports, and I like to hang out with my dog.
But unlike other 12-year-olds, Wyatt had to take a break from the things he loved to do the most.
2 years and 5 months ago, we went for a well child visit. He had acute B-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma. So it was in the bloodstream. It's a liquid cancer.
With what seems like endless appointments, surgeries, and chemotherapy, it could be hard to see the bright light. But in this case, Wyatt was that bright light.
The news that I got the day that they told me he had cancer was something a mother never wants to hear. But through his strength and the strength of God and our family and friends and community, and you take one day at a time, and sometimes it's take 1 hour at a time. But that's how you get through it, and you stay strong.
As Wyatt sits tall after his port removal surgery, they proudly say that cancer is not a death sentence.
It means that I'm no longer have to have any more chemo.
After nearly 2.5 years, they're grateful for the doctors and nurses.
There's all beans on there, Wyatt.
Who became more like family.
He had cancer, and he's going to beat it, and he did.
While Wyatt continues to crack jokes and pick a destination for his Make-A-Wish, he's eager for the end of the month when he gets to ring the bell to celebrate the battle he won.
That was Julia Sandor reporting, and the hashtag Wyatt Strong shows the many people who've come together to help and support Wyatt. People of Lexington are still giving back to the homeless community during a time of high inflation. During the deep freeze and into the new year, some centers got wiped out of supplies due to the high demand. The Lexington Catholic Action Center was one of those affected, but within 10 days, it received more than 4,000 food donations. One leader there said she's extremely grateful for the community support.
It was out there on Facebook that we were in need for sandwiches, and I'm telling you, people are still responding. We have had thousands and thousands of responses, and it's, you know, a way the community can help and make sure that folks who otherwise go without can have a sack lunch.
To find out more ways to help or receive help, you can visit the Catholic Action Center's Facebook page.
6:09 here on this Monday morning. We're going to try to go over to UVA Wise and see if it'll stay on for us for a second, but you can see it's not a bad start to the morning over there in Southwest Virginia. 37, just a few clouds. We've made it. 27 down the road, actually 28 down the road there in Jonesville, 29 in London. Those are our two coldest spots this morning. 40 just dropped there in Clint Woods. We're losing our 40s as we speak now. 45 in Jacksboro is the warmest spot. We still have Clintwood and Harlan at 40, Prestonsburg and Logan at 41, but we're starting to see a few more 20s show up as well. I do believe we get into the low 50s this afternoon if we see the mix of sun and clouds that I believe we'll see. It's going to be a fairly nice day and a fairly warm day by February standards, several degrees above average temperatures, but again, I do believe we could get a bit warmer, especially if we see some more sunshine, maybe mid-50s for some. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. It's 6:10 when we come back here on Mountain News this morning. China makes some criticism about the U.S.'s handling of an alleged spy balloon that floated across the nation. All those details on the way.